How's it guys, what's going on? My name is Prashant and welcome back to Tech Scenes Eddie. Today we're looking at the Huawei P40 series. If this is your first time here, you better make sure you subscribe because you're missing out on some awesome content. So, on the 29th of May, Huawei South Africa officially launched the Huawei P40 series through a virtual launch basically. And I was lucky enough to watch that from Facebook. Okay, so let's talk about the phones. We have the P40, the P40 Pro and the P40 series. The P40 is available in Silver Frost, Brush Gold, Deep Sea Blue, Ice White and Black. Its dimensions is 148.9 by 71.1 by 8.5 millimeters. It has a 6.1 OLED display and a screen resolution of 2340 by 1080p. And it weighs 175 grams. Inside, it has the Kirin 990 5G 7nm processor. And it's running EMUI 10.1 based on Android 10, and unfortunately it does not have Google Play services. Storage wise, it has 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. And by the processor you can tell it is 5G capable. So the battery is a 3800 mAh battery which comes with fast charging at 22.5 watts. What about the cameras? The camera, it has the back camera or the main camera is a 50 megapixel wide, a 16 megapixel ultra wide, 8 megapixel telephoto and a 3D depth camera. And it can record 4K at 30 and 60 frames per second, 1080 at 30 and 60 frames per second, and 720 at 960 frames per second. The front camera is a 32 megapixel camera and also has an infrared camera for facial recognition and can record at 4K and 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. Some of the bonus features of the P40 is it comes with IP53 dust and splash proof protection. It has infrared facial recognition, so as I've told you, the IR camera in the front, and it has an under-display optical fingerprint scanner. So what about the P40 Pro, you ask? So the P40 Pro is available in Silver Frost, Brush Gold, Deep Sea Blue, Ice White and Black, just like the P40. But it has a bigger body with dimensions of 158.2 by 72.6 by 9 millimeters. And it's constructed of a back glass, a front glass, as well as an aluminium frame. It has an OLED display. It has an OLED 6.58 display and a resolution of 1640 by 120p. And comes with HDR10 and a whopping 90 Hz refresh rate. So what's the weight, you ask? It's 209 grams. Pull it down. So what's the weight, you ask? It's 209 grams. And it has the same processor as the P40, the Kirin 990 5G 7nm processor. Same operating system, EMUI 10.1 based on Android with no Google services. Storage wise, it comes with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. And from the processor again, is 5G capable. So what is up with the battery? The battery is a 4200 mAh battery which comes with fast charging at 40 watts, fast wireless charging at 27 watts, and fast reverse wireless charging at 27 watts as well. So charging two phones together, 27 watts. The camera. The main camera is 50 megapixels wide. The main back camera is 50 megapixels wide. It has a 40 megapixel ultra wide, a 12 megapixel periscope telephoto camera, and a 3D depth camera. And it can record 4K and 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second and 1080 at 960 frames per second. So what about the selfie camera? The selfie camera is just like the P40, a 32 megapixel front camera that can record 4K and 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. The bonus features with the P40 Pro: it has IP68 dust and water resistance. It has an infrared face recognition, as well as the under-display optical fingerprint reader. So the P40 Lite is available in black, emerald green, and a light pink and blue. Its dimensions, it's 159.2 by 76.3 by 8 millimeters, and it's constructed of a front glass, a plastic back, and a plastic frame. It has a 6.4 inch display, which is an LCD TLPS IPS display, and has a resolution of 2310 by 1080p. Its weight is 183 grams, and the processor, which is different from the P40 and the P40 Pro, is a Kirin 810 7nm processor. Operating system wise, this comes with EMUI 10, which is based on Android 10, as well as no Google Play services. Storage wise, it comes with 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. And unfortunately, this phone is 4G capable. So what about the battery? The battery is a 4200 milliamp hour battery, which comes with fast charging at 40 watts. Camera wise, the main camera is a 48 megapixel wide camera, and it comes with an 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 2 megapixel macro, and a 2 megapixel depth camera, and can only record video at 1080p at 30 frames per second. The front camera or selfie camera is a 16 megapixel camera, which can only record video at 1080p at 30 frames per second. And the P40 Lite only comes with a side-mounted fingerprint reader. So what are the main differences between the phones that you should worry about? First of all, the network. The P40 Lite only comes in 4G. What about the build? The P40 Lite comes with a plastic back and frame, while the others come with a glass back and aluminium frame. What about the display? The P40 comes with a 6.1 inch display, which has a resolution of 2340 by 1080p. The P40 Lite comes with a 6.4 inch display, which has a resolution of 2310 by 1080p. Slight difference. And the P40 Pro comes with a 6.58 inch display, which has a resolution of 2640 by 1200p. And the P40 Pro has HDR10 and a 90 Hz refresh rate. Operating system wise, the P40 Lite comes with EMUI 10, while the others come with EMUI 10.1. Memory wise, the P40 Lite comes with only 6 gigs of RAM. And what about the biggest factor? Cameras. The P40 and P40 Pro come with a 50 megapixel main camera, while the Lite only comes with a 48 megapixel camera and can only do 1080p videos. And what about the selfie camera? The P40 Lite only has a 16 megapixel selfie camera and can only do 1080p video, while the P40 and the P40 Pro have a 32 megapixel selfie camera which can shoot 4K video. Finally, so what about the battery? The P40 and the P40 Lite are fitted with the same 4200 mAh battery with 40 watts fast charging. The P40 Lite does not include wireless and reverse charging, while the P40 comes with a 3800 mAh battery with 22.5 fast charging. So Huawei are doing well for themselves, being the underdogs at this point, and following the trade ban and the removal of Google services have come back quite strong with the Huawei app gallery. And this phone, being a flagship phone, is a very strong competitor to others. And I think a lot of people, I think Huawei has shaken the market. And that brings us to the end. So if there are any products you'd like to see me review, please don't be afraid to leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, you can let me know by giving a like rating if you did, and getting subscribed if you're unsubscribed already, turning on post notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Guys, thanks for watching. My name is Prashant, and I'll see you in the next video.